Israel has now intensified its offensive against Iran-backed group of Hezbollah in Lebanon. And in the latest and the biggest update that is now coming in through sources, what we are learning that Israel continues to target Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah's likely successor. On the other hand, Iran has also released a video of its 1st of October attack where over 180 missiles were fired at Israel. As per reports, Hashem Safieddine, which is said to be a cousin and presumed successor of Nasrallah, was to participate in a meeting at top Hezbollah leaders in an underground bunker, and Israeli forces, which reportedly had the information about this meeting, targeted that bunker in southern suburbs of Beirut. Now, sources have also suggested that, however, when it comes to the main suspect who was hit in the attack, it is to be noted that this attack comes a week after when Nasrallah was killed in a similar kind of an attack. On the other hand, detailing its attack on Hezbollah, Israel has claimed that it has an upper hand in the ongoing conflict, and several Hezbollah commanders have already been eliminated.
הכוחות שלנו בלבנון מחסלים עוד ועוד מפקדים, עוד ועוד מחבלים. כל התקלות כזו מסתיימת כשידנו על העליונה. כוחות שלנו מוכנים, מאומנים מאי פעם, טעונים בניסיון מהלחימה בעזה ויתרונם בזירת הלחימה מובהק. כוחות מלווים ביכולות אש, מהאוויר, מהקרקע, נלחמים באומץ רב.
Well, even as the world watched the regional conflict continue and grow in the Middle East, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who chaired a cabinet committee on security meeting with senior ministers and officials, this meeting focused on the possible impact of the Israel-Iran conflict on India, especially the supply of crude oil and oil prices, which may in turn affect trade with India, and of course the oil prices thereafter could spiral. There would be ramifications if this conflict continues and broadens with Iran's now direct intervention that has now taken place when it comes to the counter-strike that it happened against Israel. Israel in the meantime has said that it has not decided when or where, but it will respond to this military attack that has been done on part of Iran. However, Israel continues with its on-ground operations as well in Lebanon, but that is how India has now been looking into if this crisis grows, what its possible impact could be in the country. Let's in the meantime talk about it is almost going to be a year into the war in Gaza as far as the search for safety and basic necessities that has now become a daily routine for those whose homes have been destroyed. With the United Nations saying around 1.9 million people, 86% of Gaza's pre-war population has been displaced, and many who still are living in refugee camps with limited access to basic amenities. Take a look.
The Beit Lahir camp in southern Gaza is home to 200 families. One of them is a Salha family who moved from northern Gaza after an Israeli strike destroyed their home. A tent made of plastic sheets is now home to Wada al-Moslami and her husband Monder and their 5 sons and 2 daughters. Each day is a struggle.
Everything is difficult in our life because there is no water, electricity, or any other necessities. The first thing we do every day is look for drinkable water. We fill plastic containers from the water stations, and then we wash the children's faces, comb their hair. Each one of us has our own daily tasks.
Today, it's 13-year-old Bana Salha's job to collect water from the water station. Bana, who, with the rest of the family, has moved 4 times since their home was destroyed, says she longs for her life to return to normal.
We hope to rebuild our house because it was destroyed. We want to rebuild our house and go back to the north. We want to see our friends, our schoolmates, and our teachers, and go back to our schools.
Bana's father, Monder, is a construction worker. This is the 4th time he's had to build tents for his family out of plastic sheets as they constantly move to escape the fighting across Gaza. With temperatures set to dip as low as 8 degrees Celsius, Monder says he's doing his best to repair and prepare their latest tent for the onset of winter, as he has no money for a stronger shelter because he cannot find work.
Finding work depends on your relationship with the community. We are strangers here, even though we are Gazans, because we are going from place to place, region to region. With this war, there is no work.
Along with other women in the camp, Monder's wife, Wada, spends much of her day preparing food and baking bread in a clay oven. She sells some of the bread, bringing in a small income. At the end of Wada's day, she takes a welcome break with other women, but she says their conversations are dominated by the war and the approaching cold, wet winter.
The shelling is everywhere in any area. It doesn't matter if there are people or not. In the markets, in schools, the shelling is everywhere. We are also afraid of the rain. We are not prepared for winter.
Multiple attempts at peace negotiations have failed. Israel says the war will only end with the destruction of Hamas and the return of all remaining Israeli hostages taken by Hamas during the attack it led on Israel on October the 7th, 1 year ago. For Nadal Hamduna, Amjad Tantash and Enas Tantash in southern Gaza Strip, Dorian Jones, VOA News.